podcast and YouTube blog covering the German startup scene with news, interviews, and live events.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is Joe from Startuprad.io, your startup podcast, YouTube blog and internet radio station from Germany. Today I do have Alexandre here with me. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, how are you? Thanks a lot for having me.
Totally my pleasure. I assume you're right now in Paris?
Exactly. I'm in my apartment. I wanted a quiet setup to do the podcast, so I'm at home in Paris.
Really good. And since we usually interview entrepreneurs from Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, we will put this all together during the course of the interview, why you are here and what interesting pieces you have to talk about. You are the CEO and co-founder of Fleet.co. We may put it out right here. It is not a ride-sharing or ride-hailing company.
No, exactly. Fleet is more leasing solution, hardware leasing. So we do device as a service. So for every startup and SMBs, we offer a clear solution where you can finance your computer fleet. That's why it's the name Fleet. So you finance your computer fleet. You have a warranty, you have an insurance, you have a MDM. MDM is for mobile device management, which means like if someone steals your computer, you can lock it, erase the data. So it's cybersecurity related. So yeah, it's a whole solution for hardware fleet for startup and SMBs. That's why we are called Fleet.
And that's also one of the pieces why you are here, because you're a B2B startup, and that usually goes pretty well with Startuprad.io. Before we go into what Fleet.co does, you founded Fleet. We talked about this before, around about 5 years ago. You guys have been completely bootstrapped until now. And before that, on your profile in LinkedIn, you really have to scroll through because you do have a lot of business angel investments there. Admittedly, also pretty interesting. We'll get to this later. But the other position I found with you was formerly with Rocket Internet. What did you do there? And then I do have a few questions on your education, because that was also an interesting piece of information here.
Yeah, with pleasure. So yeah, myself, I start my career in private equity, but pretty fast I got attracted by the startup world. No, I wanted to I felt pretty early I was more a doer. I left to get things done, and private equity was very insightful. I mean, I learned a lot in terms of how to analyze a business, how to think about market sizing and everything. So I think it was a very good training, but then I felt, okay, yeah, I want to get shit done, no, like get stuff done and move in a more entrepreneurial journey. So yeah, I tried to join Rocket Internet. I joined them for 2 years in Africa. I was based in Morocco first, Casablanca, and traveling a lot in Tunisia and Algeria. So I was head of operation for North Africa for Jumia, like e-commerce business that Rocket used to have in Africa. And then I became managing director for Tunisia, still for Rocket Internet. And after 2 years, I thought, no, like it might be a good time to leave. So I came back to Europe. I joined another startup, which you mentioned, called Ironhack, which is a tech school, no? So for, like helping people to change life in 9 weeks. So it was a school of data, developer, UX, UI designer, and I was in charge of opening new markets. So I opened Paris, I opened Berlin, I opened Amsterdam, I opened Lisbon, I opened Sao Paulo, Mexico, so many cities. And at the beginning, I was the launchers and head of expansion. I ended up being like the CEO, managing all the global operation of the business. And I stayed there another 2 years. And after that, I felt I was ready to launch my own business, so start working on the idea of Fleet. And it's been 5 years now, and I think it's also why I'm here in this podcast. It's because we just launched in Germany like a few months back, and we are expanding in all Europe, and especially Germany is a critical market for us. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I see. We should tell our audience, we try to give them as much perspective as possible. When you look at the European Union, talking about Europe, mostly European Union, rule of thumb, Germany makes up slightly below a quarter of the GDP of the whole European Union, EU 27. So that's why it's a very important market. My understanding is also you're not only catering to startups, but also to this usual small and medium-sized enterprises in Germany, lovely called Mittelstand. And that would also be a very important and very attractive potential audience for you, right?
Yeah, exactly. So Germany is, as you say, like largest market of European Union. Very big economy in terms of GDP. Even more interesting for us, like it's a massive economy in terms of SMBs and fleet. We are selling to SMBs. So it's one of the most exciting market in terms of SMBs. It's a great tech market also in terms of ecosystem. So yeah, it's a very core market and key market for us, and we are very excited to be here. We are excited by the first result we are here. Yeah, we managed to attract a lot of very good clients, like Personio, like Flink. So yeah, it's quite exciting, and I'm looking forward having more and more wins in Germany. We also have an amazing general manager for the country, so yeah, it's promising for us.
Sounds pretty good. What I found interesting when I've been looking through your LinkedIn profile, of course, as always, down here in the show notes, wherever you're watching this, where you're listening to this, there is a link down here in the show note that gets you to our Medium blog. There you have a complete blog post, and there your LinkedIn profile is linked, of course. And what I personally found interesting, you did a master's in a school in Paris, but you also spent some time in Tecnológico de Monterrey, the Mexican MIT. How was it there, and how spicy can you eat?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love Mexico. It's an amazing country. Yeah, it was very. I went there when I was just 19 to live there for 1 year, and yeah, it was the best time. Like when you are an exchange student, you are not studying so much. You are more traveling and having fun, and Mexico is a great country for that. And I came back there many times now, after this exchange. Now I went for Ironac to open it there. There I met my girlfriend, who is now my fiancée, and we got engaged not so long ago when we were in Mexico also. So yeah, Mexico is a bit special for us. Yeah.
I see.
And I can eat very spicy, but less than my fiancée. She eats even more spicy, but myself, I can eat very, very spicy. Yeah.
I understand. Plus, you also spent some time in Australia. How was this? And actually, I've never been to Australia, honestly. My wife's a big fan. She has been there. But I always tease her. There are way too many things like bugs, like snakes, like fish, that can poison you. Plus you have stuff like, the big saltwater crocodiles, the great white shark. So there's a lot of stuff that scares me right now.
Nice. Yeah. So Australia is, yeah, I didn't, had any problem when I was there, no, but yeah, for sure. Apparently, there is a lot of snake and stuff. I saw a few, but yeah, nothing dangerous for me. But yeah, it's also an amazing country. I mean, yeah, I love to travel myself. It's one of my passion, no, and I've been to many countries. I'm quite lucky, and I keep traveling, yeah, as much as I can and discovering place. And yeah, I think we are really lucky to have the opportunity to travel today so much with not so expensive flight ticket and so on. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really a chance to discover a new culture, a new country, and it enrich you a lot, no? Like to discover new stuff. No, I'm a very curious person, and yeah, It's really one of my passion.
You're a very curious person. Did you also try this Marmite stuff in Australia? Marmite. It's something that is a running joke because it's a learned taste, my understanding, and it's made from yeast. And if you're not used to it, you usually don't like it, but you get used to it.
Yeah, I tried it. I tried it. I tried also. I think kangaroo. I had crocodile somewhere. Yeah, I tried stuff. Yeah, I mean, today I'm less into trying so many new stuff. I know what I like, but I'm still a curious person. Yeah, less in terms
I
of food.
see.
No, like I don't want to eat bugs or stuff, but I'm
Mhm.
curious.
The interesting stuff, all the people already know that I take some detours, but now we're back from the detour here and we're talking about fleet. I was wondering, how did you get the idea? Because there are a lot more obvious business models out there, especially concerning stuff people do every day. That's why Lukacs Gadowski, for example, said there are so many ideas around food. How did you get this idea?
Yeah, so as I told you, I used to work for another startup where I was like CEO. So I thought, okay, yeah, it might be a good point for me to launch mine. No, so I was number two, so I was feeling I was getting ready and prepared to launch my own. No, and so I was in the mindset of looking for a new idea. And finding a business, no. So it didn't come like this, no. I was looking for something, no. And so in my mind, I start to develop some criterias that I thought were relevant. So I wanted to do B2B, not B2C. I wanted to do something with subscription, no, like with a monthly payment and like where people are enrolled. I felt it was interesting to have a subscription business model. No, then I felt I was kind of impressed by a few SMB startups. So I thought, oh, maybe we should target SMBs. And then, I had an issue on my computer. So when I was at Ironhack, my last startup, and I broke it, and I didn't know how to solve it. No, I realized we were really like consumer. No, basically, like we had no solution to manage IT internally. It was really chaotic. It remind me of multiple problem. No, like when I was opening new market, I had to how can I say, like buy myself the computer for the new employees. We didn't have a procurement solution. When a computer was broken, we didn't know who to go to. We didn't know if they were insured or not. It was really, when people leave, some people could forget to give it back. So I realized there were multiple issues in all the life cycle of a computer within a company, and it was destroying a lot of value because, like when you pay people a certain salary when they miss one day of work because like computer is broken or something, it's really not efficient and it's destroying a lot of value. So I reflect a lot around all that and realized there were like a categories that was not very targeted by anyone, which was IT for SMBs, and decided to build something in this category. No.
So you were looking and then your own problems, you were looking for business model and then basically your own problems brought you there.
Yeah, it's a mix. So I was looking, I had some criterias, I had this problem. So I had this problem, I didn't realize directly, and few weeks or months after, like the CEO of my last startup told me, hey, can you move everyone into leasing? It doesn't make sense to be spending so much cash into computer. Like we should keep our cash. And then I connect everything. Now I thought, oh, like there is maybe we should do rental for computer with warranty on top, with insurance on top, with a SaaS to manage it. And it became the vision of Fleet now. So it was like I was looking for something problem with my own computer, and then my ex CEOs telling me, "Oh, please move everyone into leasing." So I thought, okay, yeah, like there is a way to build a business in this category with this offer, which is within my criteria.
Mm-hmm. I see. Also, I do understand you guys are bootstrapped, which was originally not the plan. And I also understand that basically for the first year, maybe longer, the whole everybody would call headquarters operations. Everything was done by you and your co-founder.
Yeah, so yeah, when we launched Fleet, we thought at first to raise fund. We thought like, yeah, raising fund is a classic way, like when you are a startup, everyone raise fund. So we were not challenging the idea of raising fund or not. So we start working on the idea. We had directly, quite a product market fit. We were quite kind of lucky. So directly we were making revenue. Since we had designed like good unit economic and good cash flow, we start receiving some good cash from the operation. So yeah, after a few weeks, we realized, oh, maybe we shouldn't be raising. No, like we see we can develop this as a profitable business. No, and maybe it doesn't make sense in this specific case to raise. So then we didn't raise.
You also had a very insightful post on LinkedIn just 2 weeks ago, where I'll link down here in the show notes. There was also something where I learned a lot of you. But number one was nail unit economics. Can you explain a little bit what you mean by that? And for our audience, if you sell one unit of whatever you're doing, if it's software, if it's hardware, whatever it is, the economics should be positive. That means you sell one piece, you make, for example, €1 profit.
Yeah, exactly. Nailing unit economic is exactly that. I think it's even more relevant when you sell goods. Goods with services, but goods. So something you buy, something then you resell in a sense, no, or you transform and resell. So for software, unit economic are pretty high. When you do SaaS, like you have very high gross margin. But when you do like us, no, like leasing, no, like we buy computer, we buy financing, we buy insurance, we buy logistic, we buy everything, and then we package them and sell them. And so then you have to get enough comfortable gross margin to be able to pay your team, pay marketing, pay rent, pay multiple stuff, no? And so you have to think in terms of unit, yeah, like on one unit, how much money I'm going to generate now or later. In our case, part of the money we generate is later, because since we rent computer, after 3 years, we get the computer back and we can resell them. But still, you need a bit of cash flow now to be able to pay services you're going to provide along the journey and manage the company, no? So yeah, I think it's the basics of many stuff, and it has to be thought right, no? Like there is a common joke, like saying if I sell, like €100, like €100 cash money, like billets, no, like for 80, for sure I can make gross, no? Like I can go in the street and sell €100 for 80, like for sure you can make gross, no? But yeah, like the point is to generate some cash from each unit, and yeah, this is very positive, I think, to be able to do that. Then you can reinvest in your company, like build more software, build more services, build better team to develop the company. So yeah, it's a power.
And another point that I just want to highlight, you made 5 points, as I said, link down here in the show notes. Keep your balance sheet lean. That means you not outright bought all the equipment that you're leasing out. I understand you financed some of it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, risk of inventory is a big risk, for instance, and it can put you issues to scale properly. So at Fleet, we don't have inventory, so we don't have warehouse, we don't have inventory, because this is very cash consuming to have inventories. So we do drop shipping basically, like it's on demand, and we have a network of suppliers that we ask to ship. And we don't have balance sheet in the sense neither. We don't finance ourselves. We work with banks that finance the client for us and take a cut. So I think both decisions were very critical. No, like without it, we couldn't have scaled this way.
Now it makes sense that Seven and you just have been handling everything at Fleet, because it sounds like a very, very lean business where you've been both a lot on the phone and a lot on the computer every day and just orchestrate like all your deliveries, all your clients. Is that true?
Yeah, at the beginning, we launched it. Yeah, it was part of my plan. Also, I wanted to launch a business where I could launch it myself with my co-founder. And what can I tell you? Like, like we get a first intern at first. And after the first intern, like a second one, but most of the work, it was done by us too. Yeah.
I see. Also, I understand because your co-founder very helpfully published it on his LinkedIn page that you guys are already beyond 10 million annual revenue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have been doing plus 10 million revenue. Yeah,
Yep.
Annualized.
The way you do it, very lean. Do you think if you would reach out to investors, they would be attracted to it?
They would be attracted to invest in the company, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if we would like to do to raise some money or sell a part of the business, I think we could do it now. But I'm not saying we'll never do it. I'm more saying, we want to do it at the right moment in a comprehensive project. No, like we want to. Yeah, we are. I think it's something that should be treated with carefulness. No, like it's equity is something you really can't fuck up. No, in a company, and and you have to be careful on this. No, so there's many stuff that can be correct later on in a journey. Like if you have a bad product, you can fix it. If you have a poor brand, you can fix it. If you fuck up your equity, you can be really stuck now. Like, let's say if you sell 25% of your company to a competitor, then like you have a competitor inside of your business that just own 25%. You can't sell it to anyone because maybe this guy will refuse to sell his 25. No, like, and no one gonna look at it thinking, oh, the one with the 25 might acquire it at some day, so no one else can look at it. So the one with 25 has so much power. So I'm saying like, I think when you touch to this, like you have to be quite careful and understand the implication, because ultimately you're gonna spend like 6 years, 7 years, 10 years working on a business, no? And you have to understand the game you're playing.
I see. I understand correctly that investors just have to make you an offer you can't refuse, right?
Sorry? I couldn't hear.
That was me trying to be a godfather. The investors just have to make you an offer you can't refuse.
We can refuse, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even sure it's that, honestly. I don't think... I mean, if it's really crazy money, like for sure it can make you think, but I think it has to make sense for the long-term future of the company. No? This is the most important thing.
Talking about the long-term future of the company here, because you are entering or just entered the German market. In fact, that's why we are talking. It just took us 25 minutes to get here, so don't worry, guys. This recording will be a little bit longer. entering the German market. We already made the points that it's very important. For me, it was interesting. Was Germany the first market that you entered? And how did you approach the problem?
So Germany was not the first market we entered. It was Spain. Germany was the second market we entered. So we had already the playbook of Spain. We had already the playbook of France, to be honest, because we had done a go-to-market in France. Even if it's a HQ, we consider it was a launch, no? And as you remember in the beginning of the call, no, I managed some international venture at Rocket Internet, and I did expansion for Ironac, where I was in charge of opening new market. So myself, I have quite some experience in opening new market and international expansion. So I know how to do it. So yeah, basically we just know, like, we have a playbook, no, and playbook is adaptable from one startup to another, but it's the same also on some aspect. No, so first thing, most important, you need to build a great team and find a great leader to do it. So how to do it? Like, there is two ways, no? Like, one way is to hire local talent, but it's quite difficult to find someone who is not from your country, to convince him to join, to find someone very talented that accepts the challenge, no? And it's also a difficult challenge. Or you can send someone from HQ that you trust and is amazing, no? So in Spain, we sent someone from HQ who is now my chief of staff. He spent 1 year in Spain to build it, and then came back to be my chief of staff. And then we hired someone great in Spain. In Germany, we managed to find directly an amazing guy. So we hired him. So this is one. Then there is marketing, go to market, make some noise. So we have a playbook for this. And then, yeah, we need also some partnership with the banks, as I say, to be able to finance clients. But when we have all this ready, we can execute. It's more an execution play. Yeah.
And first, I would like to say playbook is basically a step-by-step guide on a very high level, how you succeeded in France and you adapted to Spain, you adapted to Germany, and then basically you follow the same steps to be successful there. And I was curious because you said to Spain you sent your head of staff. How? A lot of entrepreneurs are listening to us. What would be like your tip or your few top tips if they ever look in a foreign country for a head of operations, for a local CEO, for country manager, somebody who builds the business up there? How do they find those people? Because they're very hard to find.
Yeah, it's very difficult to find them. Very, very difficult. So I think we have a process to hire talent. It's working well. So first thing, I did many hiring myself when I was in my last job, where I was in charge of opening new markets. So I already did it myself multiple times. I trained my chief of staff to do it. So I explain him, I share with him how to do it. No, so now he's running it. I think what's important is, to attract talent, like someone similar to them is more has more chance to attract. So for instance, my chief of staff is really entrepreneurial, young, talented, hungry, hard worker, amazing work ethic, all of this. No, so he has more chance to identify someone similar to him, I think. So that's why he's the owner of the process. So this is one. Then, we have a scorecard where we rank what we expect in people for each role. For country directors, the number one top of the scorecard is entrepreneurship. No, like we want someone that's gonna become entrepreneur one day. We think entrepreneurship is the most important thing in this role. It depends. Some other role is not this, but this role is this. And then since we speak like entrepreneur, we have a very entrepreneurial culture. I think Fleet is an amazing entrepreneurial school for talent, because we since we are bootstrap, we have a small team, which make a lot of revenue. We are really focused on return on investment. Myself, I'm quite seasoned entrepreneur. I invest in multiple business. We have a lot of networks. So I think all this is very attractive for young guys that want to be one day entrepreneur. Like you think, okay, like Fleet is an amazing opportunity for me to be a country director, to build a business from scratch, to have a lot of responsibility for my age, to, like learn from more seasoned guy, to be surrounded by some other young guys like me that are very talented and hungry. So for all this, I'm ready to work very hard, to have some hustle, to be hungry, no? And, I think it's a deal between them and us, no? Like we teach them some stuff, we give them our network, we give them a lot of responsibility, and then in exchange, they work really hard to be at the standard of it, no?
I was your reference customers on your German website already include Hive, Personio, Boston Consulting, Plian, Flink, and others, which is pretty impressive. So apparently you've hired a successful CEO. You found a lot of interesting clients already. My question would be, what was like the biggest stumble stone to get into the German market? And you're not permitted to say either the language, the labor laws, or the tax laws.
Of course, yeah. So, I think finding the right talent is really important and challenging, no? And we were lucky to do it, and I'm very excited. We have an amazing guy, which I take the opportunity to thank in this podcast, called Peter. Then what are the main challenges in Germany for us? I think it's always difficult to build awareness and noise, especially when you are not based locally. So make an effort of being, like people thinking of you, seeing you, hearing of you, no? And it's also why I'm here today in this podcast to tell to the German market, hey, we are opening here and we are looking forward, talking to clients and getting more and more clients. We have an amazing solution for the German market. So just, hello, we are here and think of us. Hiring, growth. And then, as you say, there is for sure some difference in terms of language, in terms of tax, in terms of admin, but this can be done, no? Like, I mean, it's just a matter of work, I think.
I see. Before we close this chapter of the interview, what would be your top recommendation for another entrepreneur, maybe from France, maybe from Spain, maybe from the US, on how to approach the German market if you want to enter it? Look for talent, or first go there for a few weeks, stay in a few bed and breakfasts, go to co-working spaces and get to know the market?
I think you have to study first, like, where is your market, no? And I think it's more difficult in Germany versus UK and France, for instance, because France is very centralized in Paris. Very, very, very centralized for tech, but also for the rest, no? Like, so no matter if you sell to startup, if you sell to SMB, if you sell to enterprise, many of them are in Paris. While in Germany, so it depends, no? So if you sell to startups, there are a little bit more in Berlin, but there is some in Hamburg, in Munich. If you sell to financial institutions, there are more in Frankfurt. If you sell to more traditional companies, there are more in Munich. So you have to assess first, okay, where is your core market in Germany and where you want to start? And then based on that, you can design a proper plan, no?
Mm-hmm. Very good point. I would have made that because Germany is federally organized. What also many people don't have in mind, for example, Hamburg is the third largest aviation hub in the world due to the big manufacturing capacities of Airbus there, just behind Seattle and Lyon. Also, Cologne Düsseldorf area is pretty famous for insurance companies, and Stuttgart, machine building, cars, and so on and so forth. So basically, if you do have a certain industry, a certain target market, you would need to look around to do that and not blindly go to spot one or A or B. Having that all said and be interviewed you already for 35 minutes, which is on the longer side for our interviews. You have invested in more than 80 investments, including pre-IPO or well-known companies, for example, Pinterest and so on and so forth. What did you learn from your angel investments, and how could people pitch you?
Yeah, so I've learned a lot. No, like it's as I said previously, I'm very curious, and I think I'm doing angel investing partly for that. No, because I love to discover new business, new ideas with people. No, and discover new people also. I do that because we are bootstrap, so also I don't have a board, so it's very healthy for me to go out and come back with new ideas. And I do that also to give back to the ecosystem. No, I think, like in a building, no, like I'm a small owner of this massive ecosystem, European one, and I'm a small living there, no. So it's important for me to contribute and try to make the place better, no. And, so I reinvest a lot of my money in startups, no, to support my local ecosystem, no. And, how can you pitch me? Yeah, you, like anyone, no? Like, I mean, do the best pitch, to anyone, I think. And, there is nothing special I'm expecting, especially for me, no? Like, I want people to come as they are, no? Like at McDonald's, no? Come as you are. And, tell their pitch, and have some energy, have some drive. I think it's very important, but, come as you are. No?
Great. And of course, people can reach out to you on LinkedIn.
Yeah. But I'm a bit swamped on LinkedIn, but yes, I can still reach out. I'm receiving a lot of messages.
I can attest to this, but don't worry. It's the same with me. I try, since I have family, not to work on Saturdays and Sundays if there's an option not to do that. And usually there is an option. But when I come back Monday morning, I usually have something like 30 messages waiting for me in LinkedIn. Plus, I tend to have something like half a dozen contact requests each week, where I tend to go through by now, because apparently everybody thinks if they do have an IT development company, IT coding boutique or something like this, I should have ordered for them. Not sure why, but they reach out to me on a very, very frequent basis. We're getting close to the 40-minute mark, and there are the usual 2 questions at the end of the interview. Would you be open to talk to new investors? And I think we already had this, if the offer is right.
Yeah, it's not just the offer or the price, no? Like it's, I think it has more to come from us, no? Like, when we want to get new investor, we'll do a roadshow, no? We'll do it ourselves, no? When we'll have a project to sell with a clear, like, how are we going to use it? No, like, is it cash in, cash out? Is it, like, to acquire new companies? Is it to open new market? What we want to do with this money? So, yeah. So when we need money, we will say for what. And I think we'll reach out directly to investor, and we'll select investor ourselves, to which we want to partner. And I think it will be more proactive from our side.
I understand, but that also means if investors get in touch now, they will be later likely on your list to do that.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure to take. I mean, when I get reached out, I'm not answering lately. I'm getting a lot reached out, and I'm not answering. Yeah.
Okay. And is Fleet.co looking for talent, for new hires?
Yes, we are. We are looking now for a country director in the UK. We are really focused on this hiring. So we do hiring one by one. We are lucky to be as I say, not too big in terms of number of people. So we are really selective who we add in the team. It's like a football squad, no? Like we are always reflecting if we bring this guy inside the company, will it transform it? No. So now we are really focused on hiring a country director for the UK.
I see. And everybody who is listening to this, after the publication, they can go down here in the show notes. We will link your career website and people can have a look if they find a suitable position there. Alexandre, it was a very long interview. Thank you very much for doing this for us. And very happy to have you as a guest. And in a few years, come back and we'll talk about it, how it went since.
Awesome. Let's do it. Thanks a lot for everything. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Take care.
That's all, folks. Find more news, streams, events, and interviews at www.startuprad.io. Remember, sharing is caring.